Hey guys, it's Uncle Howie. I'm here again for the podcast. We're going to be putting out a new episode every Monday and every Friday, 20 to 30 minutes, just talking about wisdom that you can apply in your life if your goal is to be a better man. If you're not interested in being a better man, you're going to hate this, so don't waste your time. But if you think to yourself, man, there are some things in my life that I wish I could improve so that I could be more valuable to the people that really matter to me, more valuable to my family, more valuable to my community, more valuable to my church. Whatever it is your goals are, we're here to help you determine that and declare that and then achieve those things. So I want to tell you a little bit about myself, just some background. Number one, I am from a broken home. My mother had 3 boys, and all 3 of us brothers had different fathers. And so 2 of us share a last name, which was somewhat deceptive on my mother's part. And then my younger brother, his last name is Ballard. So my older brother Nick and I are both Everetts. And then Hugh, my little brother, is Ballard. And we are all, I used to say that we were like Vikings because we all kind of grew up, playing rough sports and being rough in the house, and we're all pretty good at, the violence of life. And so because of my broken home and just having to move around a lot and change schools, and I spent 4 years at a foster home. Actually, it was a boys' home with several different foster homes on the same campus, along with a cattle ranch. I would say that I've kind of spent most of my life with a broken heart, and I've tried to be positive. I'm a man of genuine faith. I am a Christian man, and that definitely is probably the most substantial and important thing in my life is my faith. But even though I was certain that one day when I pass away, after Judgment Day, that I would be accepted by God, I just still had a broken heart most of my life. But thankfully, my life has been restored, and right now I have a ton of joy, and I have a very, very happy life. And so what I want to share is some experiences with you and some wisdom that I've been given. And so, anytime you've been given more than you need in life, it's always good to share. And, we talked a little bit in our last video, in our last podcast, about the idea of making sacrifices for other people. And so it's a small sacrifice for me to sit here in front of a microphone and record, 20, 30 minutes twice a week to hopefully help some people. But, my goal is to help young men who grew up without a solid father figure around. And, the good news for me was that when I was 12, almost 13 years old, I was put into this foster home, and I got to meet a guy named Fred Kinslow. And you'll hear me talk about Fred quite a bit because Fred was a man's man. He was a veteran. He'd been a sergeant in the Marine Corps. He had been through quite a bit in his life. He was one of the strongest people physically I'd ever seen in my life. I could tell you stories that you would have a hard time believing about his physical strength. And he was really the first good man I ever met. He didn't want anything from us besides hard work and respect. And he taught us how to work on a farm and to work with cattle and to take care of other farm animals. Part of my job every day was to take care of the pigs down at the pig pen. And you know what? They need to be taken care of even on Christmas morning. So I spent years taking care of farm animals and rebuilding barbed wire fences and going off to help other neighbors. And I remember several times having to pull our neighbor, who was a dairy farmer. I had to pull his tractor out of a pile of muck so deep that it was stuck up to the axle. And so, I had hours just by myself on a tractor thinking about the things that I was learning there on that farm. And then after 5 years in the military and 20 years of raising children, I just feel like I have been called to help young men make good decisions. And one of the things that you have to do to regularly make good decisions is called goals with accountability. You have to be able to set down a goal, declare what your goal is, and then you need help. You need someone to coach you or cheerlead for you or mentor you to get to that point in your life where you're regularly achieving the small steps, the small goals that we will help you set together. So in my time after the Army, I was a foster dad. I had 35 teenage boys, plus my own 5 children. And so I've helped raise 40 children. They all lived in my house, 8 to 10 at a time. And, after just years and years and years of seeing mostly teenage boys make horrible decisions and then come back and have to suffer the consequences of their own decisions, I began to see a pattern of some of those young men begin to make good decisions and set really good goals. And basically the primary thing that I think helped all of them the most was learning what it means to live for someone else, to no longer do everything based on how good it will be for you, but to live your life serving other people. And it's a pretty amazing and spiritual truth. When you give and give and give, God will take care of you, and you will begin to receive in such a way that it will blow your mind. And so, 6 years on a cattle ranch, 5 years in the Army, 20 plus years raising my children and 35 other people's children. And I just have a lot that I want to share. And so we have about 50 topics on the board so far. And so if we do 2 shows a week, in 25 weeks, we're going to reevaluate whether or not this is really helping other people out. And so knowledge is learned from acquiring facts. Wisdom is grown by the application of truth and faith in a community of people with similar desires. If you want to be a better man, you must obtain wisdom that only comes from experience and application. You must do things that are uncommon and uncomfortable. Wisdom comes by sacrificing.